I politely asked several times. So I wasn't very interested. No, I didn't matter.
You rolled 3 minutes.
See?
Did you do it, there be a hand signals?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Okay, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order and ask for approval of minutes from our compliance committee meeting on July 19th.
I'll motion.
Thank you, Joe. I'll second. Okay, Lisa, any additions, corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, profits. We have unpaid private payments report where everyone's gotten the materials that were distributed.
So there's not much change in this report from what we gave you last month. We've given separate letters to everyone except for, well, let me start. QP LLC, which is on both the city and the county. We did randomly get an email this morning from the city that he did make a payment of $7,200, so it's not all of it, but it's some of it.
And that's which one?
QP for the city.
Okay.
So one payment has been made, not the total. That's due.
Arrangements for the amounts.
It doesn't say that, yeah. They were just letting us know that a payment has been made.
Okay.
The second project, the 18030, we have received written communication that they are going through some refinancing, and as soon as that loan restructure has happened, the payment will be submitted. So the plan right now is to keep sending monthly letters because the dollar amount changes every month with interest. So they're aware of what the new dollar amount is, and then we will kind of wait a few months, and then if they don't make a payment, then we'll.
What is the interest being charged?
I do know that.
Is it as low as 2 or 3%,
I
or is
think
it
it's
higher?
even less than that. I should know that. I don't remember. I do
All right, it's
know
okay,
that.
it's
I
fine.
can't think.
So, Rich, I got a question.
Yeah.
So, they're roughly 184 deep. So, at what point do we say, okay, how long is this refinancing going to take?
We were told 2 months
Okay, how long?
last week.
Okay, so let's say that we say, okay, we're going to wait 2 months. Let's say 2 months comes and goes. They don't come up with the dough. What do we do?
I think we say to the city, are you ready for us to terminate? And go from the city's direction. We've been in similar situations with the city, and they continue to hope that the project will right side, and they don't want to do anything to deter right siding the project. So we have waited until a critical moment really to terminate in the past, and I suspect that'll be what happens here. But I think here, Rob is going to continue to follow up with the city, whereas in the past, maybe that wasn't happening much.
Does the city send any default letters or any, or is it communications just come from?
Just from us, is that as far as I know, I don't know if they do.
I don't know if they keep sending. They have to.
I don't know if they keep sending bills or not, but we can ask.
I know the county
They do.
keeps sending monthly bills with the new dollar amount. I'm
Yeah.
sure they do. I mean, well, ours is like an official demand letter that we're sending.
Be interesting to know.
Mhm.
I would think.
Yeah.
Some communication.
Right.
Okay.
The project 20055, we sent another letter, and Rachel has, or will be reaching out to the attorney that she dealt with on that project. The next one, we did send another letter, and the last one, the 14004, down at the bottom, again, that's still, we're not, that's just on here for FYI purposes, pending our lawsuit. And then the one above that, I'm still working with the city to figure out who's actually responsible for that. That the story with that one was this person, the name on here, has sold the property and lives out of state now. I'm not sure if they're responsible or the new owner is responsible. So I think right now we'll just, plan to come back to this committee in 2 months, maybe.
But we don't need to take any
No
further action because you're working on that
Yeah.
second demand letters or something
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
We are flexible, you know.
Mhm.
Fair amount of leniency with it, but we want to work with it. They want them to. Yeah. So,
But at the same time, we don't get abused either,
exactly right.
right? I mean, we don't want to be taken for fools, so we're willing to work with them.
We've had some interesting individuals in the past.
Right.
Right.
So they do exist. Okay, so that's it for the unpaid pilot payments report. And Robin, job compliance?
So if you recall last month, we had 2 projects that, hadn't submitted their waiver request yet, they have since done that. The first one is 10001. I believe this is the, 2021 was the last year of the pilot. And again, short drops and did a very detailed letter as I had in the past.
It's a very good one.
Mm-hmm.
Went all the way back
Yeah,
to what's transpired. It is quite amazing when you think during normal circumstances, given the new direction of the company, now we're going to add jobs. Well, COVID came along and so they lost jobs, which brings me to a question. When they are trying to dig themselves out of a hole, I mean, like they'll never get to the shortfall of 67 or so, is there ever a reset did that ever come up in these waiver requests?
The only ones.
Once.
Yeah, last year, you may remember, there was a project that asked us to give just the way the project evolved over time, they were just never gonna hit that job requirement and asked us to modify it. And we did so after speaking with the city. So if there's a desire to do that on this particular, although it's in the last year of the pilot, or the next project we're gonna talk about, I think that's something we should entertain, but we would want to talk to the host depending on the nature of the pilot and the circumstances.
Can I go backwards? On the unpaid pilots, refresh me, RLP3 Greece is what project?
Yeah,
You do know that's closing.
that would gather that.
No, Lexington Avenue, I was told yesterday is closing,
It is.
yes.
Which one is that?
And Shepherd Road looks to be going to FedEx.
you are aware of that.
Jill, can we note that to keep an eye on the RLP3?
Yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on it. I'm gonna reach out to the attorney that I worked with on the closing. And that individual has the direct contact to USRE, who's the entity that actually owns the building. It's an RLP entity, but it's USRE.
And it's US.
It's a USAA subsidiary, it's their real estate, it's
Yeah.
USRE.
Well, maybe I hope, I was shocked to hear that yesterday, and I hope that that's hearsay and not
Yeah.
true, but,
Well, let's hope that there is not the case.
wouldn't shock me, but
So that's gonna take that whole building.
rumor has FedEx is gonna buy Shepherd Road. They're pretty much the only ones that work for UPS or Shepherd. It's not. It's built to ship, tractor trailers in and out.
Okay, thank you for that. Right?
I wasn't a doggy downer my whole life when I started this 6 years ago. I was actually a very fun person. Believe it or not.
No.
I- 35 months, 12 days, and about 4 hours.
So back on the waivers.
Yep, that's second one, 18062, we saw this one last year as well. I guess I'll just kind of let their letters speak for themselves and open it up to discussion.
Another big call to find out if we're reporting shortfall. So we sort of let it continue until they ask for a reset, or?
I think this one in particular, but here's the thing, they are looking for other subtenants in the building. A couple months ago, we did approve a subtenant to the building. So they are making efforts to close the gap with other tenants, because I don't think the main tenant is going to be closing that gap. I don't think they're able to do it. So I think it's worth a conversation. Now, these are new building owners. They bought the building in 2018. And we've worked with these individuals, as you know, on many successful projects. So I think it's worth a conversation to see what's realistic. And then I think we have to talk to the city with this one in particular.
Who is it? Who's it?
It's a Galena project now.
The letter came to
It does, yeah.
on July. Okay, any other comments on that, questions? All right, I'll ask for, let's see, do you have an update on?
The last one, yeah, that's the one where we're still asking you to hold off on pending conversations with the city on how they'd like to proceed with that one.
So as far as the Galena project goes, so how long do you wait? What's our, if we say, okay, they're supposed to have 206, they have 66. How long do we wait before we do that?
I think we should have a discussion now. This has been going on as long as I can remember, which would be like 2017 to 18 timeframe. And it's got an 18 project code, like I said, just assumed, but this project dates back farther than that. And we've been looking at waivers on this project for at least 4 years.
But I think we should do something instead of just keep the can on.
Yeah, I think we should have a meeting and see what a reasonable projection is on the jobs and still set it to something that they can work at, if it's possible.
So you can follow up on that.
So the ask right now is to grant a waiver for 2021.
And we would be working
We
on
would start discussions with them on.
22 forward, because we do everything after, right? We survey on the prior year.
Okay, any other questions on that? All right, I'll ask for a motion to grant a waiver to the following projects as identified by project code 10001A and 18062 Amlin. Motion? No motion? Or, why not?
You know, I guess I just, no consequence at all for years just doesn't settle. And I'm not educated in the process enough to know what the consequence should be or could be. But I think just granting waivers year after year, look, if we're a little short, that's one thing. But when you're 140 short,
That's the one we just talked about, where they're looking to close that gap with other tenants, you know, so it's not the same tenant trying to crawl out of that hole. But that is a very valid point.
Yeah.
But if we have, you know, confidence in the company that they have the ability to do this, they're earnest about doing it, and, you know, if they're not, then would we apply penalties, I guess is what Joe was asking.
So we're looking at 2021 right now, right? we got 2019 and 2020, and this is the updated. Do you have the information of where we were in 2019 with the shortfalls? And is there a percentage we're seeing happening?
Yeah.
You know, it's some, is it 10%, is it 5%? Is it stagnant and nothing happening?
Mhm.
Because we have now 3 years of data, right?
Rob can thought.
You also have COVID the next 3 years as well. I mean,
It's a really tough call because you've got so many other variables. It's not a normal situation. So it's hard to, and we're seeing that even on the town level, people coming to us and asking for waivers because of COVID. But at what point do we stop making COVID
Right.
the reasoning?
Well,
You know,
reasoning,
Still
Right.
recently, kind of.
Well, the Senate,
2021.
Yeah,
the
right.
Seneca building,
2021 was still it,
Yeah.
yeah.
correct me if I'm, but the Seneca Building Partners is the Seneca Towers. COVID or not, people are need a place to stay.
It's not housing.
That is the one we're talking, that's different, the Seneca Towers.
It's a Democrat hospital.
Yeah, this is the Gannett building.
That's the one that's changed
Well, this is the Gannett
Oh,
building.
But that was, they were gonna put multifamily.
That's right, so that number,
Part of it was gonna be multifamily for sure.
Right.
Yeah, this is, are you,
they went from going into 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom to people working remotely, and then they changed their go, and we're gonna just put singles studios up.
that's a different, that's this.
Yeah, that's a different project. This is the Connect.
Yeah, they're gonna.
The aqueduct, are you thinking aqueduct? Or, so we have another project called Gannett Partners. So this is Seneca Building Partners where Windstream and Democrat Crown was. And then we have Gannett Partners, which is the old Gannett building. And that is housing. We don't have a pilot with them.
Yeah.
We have just sales tax and mortgage tax, two separate.
I'd like to know their
Actually,
numbers from the.
Yeah, she was rounding it.
with this particular one, the good news is the city is subleasing.
Yes.
The space, so, you know, Matt has 34 employees, and then there's another 20 coming on in the near future, so the city is contracting
Yes.
for that space.
Was it RPD?
No, the police department.
Right.
And the least accountability factor.
Yeah.
And it says the city is going to add an additional 20.
You're looking for a motion, and I'll give you one.
So, what's the numbers?
Reluctantly.
Oh, did we have, oh, were there any other comments on this project? That we're proposing to grant a waiver for us too. Rochester Midland and Seneca Building Partners.
You can do them as
Mr. Dwyer made
motion.
the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any other additions, corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Brett?
That's not just.
Oh, he's a visitor.
Yes.
I'm getting ready to
And you're in.
leave.
Okay, so it did pass.
Right. Is there a way, though, to take what Joe said into account and let them know that this is not going to continue anymore, that we're pretty much done? You know, we didn't really want to do this, but we did this. And then you need to make some revisions.
I have to remember, that's a good oxymoron.
With the city involved, like, it's kind of like, it's staying inside the house, right?
Okay. Any other business, Robin? Any of the committee members? I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Almost
Is it-
there.
there we go.
Is there a second? All right, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion carries, and the committee is adjourned.